Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, we're going to explore the practical side of ethics by examining how various ethical theories can guide our everyday decisions. Whether we realize it or not, our daily choices, from how we treat others to the way we consume goods, are often influenced by ethical considerations. Let's dive into how different ethical frameworks can help us navigate these decisions. Section 1. Understanding ethical theories. Before we apply ethical theories to everyday situations, let's briefly recap the main ethical theories. Utilitarianism focuses on the consequences of actions and aims to maximize overall happiness or minimize suffering. Founded by Jeremy Bentham and further developed by John Stuart Mill, this theory asks us to consider the greatest good for the greatest number. Deontology emphasizes duties and rules, suggesting that certain actions are inherently right or wrong, regardless of their outcomes. Immanuel Kant is a key figure in deontological ethics, advocating for adherence to moral duties and principles. Virtue ethics centers on the character and virtues of the individual, encouraging actions that cultivate moral virtues like honesty, courage, and kindness. This approach, rooted in Aristotle's philosophy, focuses on being rather than doing. Ethical egoism advocates for actions that promote one's own self-interest, provided they do not harm others. This theory suggests that acting in one's own best interest ultimately leads to better outcomes for society. Care ethics highlights the importance of interpersonal relationships and the moral significance of care and compassion. This theory, often associated with feminist ethics, emphasizes empathy and the importance of nurturing connections. Section 2. Ethical theories in everyday decisions. Let's apply these theories to common everyday decisions. On choosing what to eat. Utilitarianism. A utilitarian might choose a plant-based diet to reduce animal suffering and minimize environmental impact, thus promoting overall well-being. For example, opting for a vegan meal can be seen as a choice that maximizes happiness by reducing harm to animals and decreasing environmental degradation. Deontology. A deontologist may follow dietary rules that align with their ethical or religious beliefs, such as avoiding meat on certain days or adhering to kosher or halal guidelines. This adherence to duty and principle reflects a commitment to moral rules. Virtue ethics. From a virtue ethics perspective, one might choose foods that reflect virtues like temperance and self-discipline, opting for a balanced and healthy diet. This approach emphasizes moderation and the cultivation of healthy habits. 2. Lying to spare someone's feelings. Utilitarianism. A utilitarian might justify a white lie if it prevents greater harm or promotes happiness. For instance, telling a friend that their new haircut looks good even if it doesn't could be seen as a way to boost their confidence and avoid hurting their feelings. Deontology. A deontologist would likely argue against lying as it violates the moral duty to be truthful regardless of the consequences. Immanuel Kant's categorical imperative insists on honesty as a universal moral duty. Virtue ethics. Virtue ethics would encourage honesty, but also consider the context and the virtue of compassion, balancing truthfulness with kindness. In this scenario, the virtuous action might be to find a gentle way to express the truth. 3. Helping a stranger in need. Utilitarianism. A utilitarian would help the stranger if it leads to greater overall happiness. For example, assisting someone with a flat tire not only helps the individual but also promotes a sense of community and shared well-being. Deontology. A deontologist would help out of a sense of duty, recognizing the moral obligation to assist those in distress. This action aligns with the principle of aiding others in need. Virtue ethics. Virtue ethics would encourage helping as an expression of virtues like generosity and compassion. This approach emphasizes acting in a way that reflects moral character. 4. Environmental responsibility. Utilitarianism. Utilitarians would advocate for environmentally friendly practices that maximize long-term well-being for the greatest number of people. This might include reducing waste, conserving energy, and supporting sustainable products. Deontology. Deontologists might argue for respecting nature and following environmental laws as a moral duty. This approach emphasizes adherence to principles of environmental stewardship. Virtue ethics. Virtue ethics would promote sustainable living as a reflection of virtues like responsibility and stewardship. This involves making choices that reflect a commitment to preserving the environment for future generations. Section 3. Ethical dilemmas and decision-making. Everyday life often presents ethical dilemmas where the application of ethical theories can provide guidance. 1. Workplace ethics. Utilitarianism In decisions like allocating resources or managing conflicts, a utilitarian approach would consider the greatest good for the greatest number of employees. This might involve implementing policies that promote overall job satisfaction and productivity. Deontology. A deontological approach would emphasize fairness, transparency, and adherence to company policies and ethical guidelines. This ensures that actions are taken based on moral principles rather than outcomes. Virtue ethics. Virtue ethics would encourage integrity, honesty, and fairness in all professional dealings. This approach fosters a positive work environment and promotes ethical behavior. 2. Social media and privacy. Utilitarianism. A utilitarian might weigh the benefits of sharing information against potential privacy violations, aiming for the greatest net positive outcome. This involves considering the impact on both individuals and society. Deontology. A deontologist would respect privacy as a fundamental right, refraining from actions that breach confidentiality. This approach emphasizes the importance of protecting personal information. Virtue ethics. Virtue ethics would encourage thoughtful and respectful sharing, reflecting virtues like respect and consideration for others. This promotes a culture of ethical behavior online. 3. Consumer choices. Utilitarianism. When buying products, a utilitarian would consider the impact on workers, the environment, and overall societal well-being. This involves supporting ethical companies and making environmentally conscious choices. Deontology. A deontologist might prioritize buying from companies that adhere to ethical practices and fair trade principles. This ensures that consumer choices align with moral duties. Virtue ethics. Virtue ethics would guide consumers to make choices that align with virtues like temperance, justice, and sustainability. This promotes ethical consumption and responsible behavior. Section 4. Ethical reflection and growth. Applying ethical theories to everyday life not only helps us make better decisions, but also fosters personal growth and moral development. Self-reflection. Regularly reflecting on our actions and decisions in light of ethical theories can deepen our understanding of our values and principles. This promotes self-awareness and ethical mindfulness. Moral growth. Engaging with ethical dilemmas and striving to act virtuously promotes moral growth and strengthens our character. This involves continuously learning and improving our ethical behavior. Community impact. Ethical behavior positively influences our communities, fostering a culture of trust, respect, and mutual support. This creates a positive environment for everyone. Conclusion. In this video, we've explored how ethical theories like utilitarianism, deontology, and virtue ethics can guide our everyday decisions. From what we eat to how we interact with others, these theories provide valuable frameworks for navigating the complexities of daily life. By applying ethical principles to our choices, we can lead more intentional, reflective, and morally fulfilling lives. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the practical application of ethics. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insightful content on philosophy and ethics. Until next time, keep questioning, keep reflecting, and keep striving to live ethically.